Kayla Buttel is one brave little 5-year-old. Like most little girls her age, she loves Disney. She looks forward to Halloween each year, and according to her mom, Stacey, she has a wicked sense of humor. But her life hasn't been easy. In 2021, Kayla was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, a type of cancer that develops in immature nerve cells around the body. Her illness has been something that has dominated her life, and the lives of her parents, Wayne and Stacey, and her older brothers Riley, 11, and Kory, 9. It affects everything, admits Kayla's mom. From making basic plans like food shopping, thinking, today's a good day, so shall I go today because in 2 days' time could she be ill? Could she spike a temperature? All these things you have to add into your life. How Kayla's cancer diagnosis has changed family life. Stacey shares that a lot of their day-to-day life is impacted by having to ensure their environment isn't a risk to Kayla's health. Making trips to the zoo or the beach or even just seeing family are hard, because if they've got a cold or if they aren't well, you don't want to be around them, Stacey explains. If Kayla is poorly, she could end up in hospital. You're constantly having to evaluate what's best without trying to become a hermit and not leave your own home because you're too scared. A lot of the family's life has also been consumed with hospital appointments. Initially, the intense nature of Kayla's treatment meant she and her mom had to be in the hospital for 3 days and home for 7 every 10 days. As the world started opening up, after the COVID-19 lockdowns, she was diagnosed with cancer, and we went back into being isolated again because we were petrified, Stacey bravely recalls. We didn't understand it or how to handle it. Stacey explains the impact Kayla's illness has had on her brothers. It impacts them just as much, maybe more, than an adult, because they can't verbalize their emotions, Stacey says. Kayla suffers a relapse. Sadly, Kayla relapsed in January, and her mom says this was a hard fact to share with her boys. You break your children's hearts all over again. That's their little sister, says Stacey, explaining how Kayla is the apple of eldest brother Riley's eye. And yet, Stacey emphasizes the incredible fighting spirit of all 3 of her children. She says Kayla is a force to be reckoned with, and it's her positivity that is getting the family through it. Not much bothers her. She takes everything in her stride, Stacey shares. Can she be sassy? Of course. She bosses her brothers around like nobody's business. But considering she was diagnosed just after she turned 3, when it comes down to it, she just does it, Stacey says, referring to Kayla's treatment. The family has devoted a lot of time to fundraising as they are looking to pursue a new form of vaccine treatment in America that aims to prevent cancer from coming back once given the all-clear. The entire process, including flights and accommodation, would cost £185,000, so the Buttels have been working hard to fundraise with bucket collections, music events, and even a local boxing event. Unfortunately, during a recent drug trial in Leeds, Kayla and her family were told that her cancer had got worse. The special wish that the family was granted by children's charity When You Wish Upon a Star couldn't have come at a better time. The family's Disney dream comes true. Stacey knew her family needed a break, but when she sent in an application to When You Wish Upon a Star, she didn't think that her family would soon be going on a 4-day funded trip to Disneyland Paris for Halloween. Stacey says she sent off the application form simply thinking, Disney does Halloween, she's into Halloween, Disney princesses. Oh my God, that would be perfect, but was in shock when Kayla's wish was granted. I was like, oh my God, really? Stacey remembers. Kayla has always loved Halloween, so being taken to Disneyland at this time of year is extra special for her. Stacey tells us, ever since she was little when it came to trick or treating, we had our own plan where we used to live up and down the road. The boys would love it, and we'd spend a couple of hours out. She was just in it. Even before she could walk, she had a little bucket, and she wanted to get dressed up. She just loves it. Going to Disneyland then, at this special time, was the icing on the cake. Stacey reveals just how Halloween-centric the trip was. She says, one of the parades was Halloween, the characters, all dressed up in their Halloween costumes. There were pumpkins everywhere. There were ghosts everywhere. There was Halloween-themed food, Stacey continues. Very autumny, fake plants were autumny colors. The characters, when you met them, were dressed up like Goofy was in a skeleton costume. There were kids dressed up in their Halloween costumes, dressed as princesses. It was just lovely.